Hello friends, I'm Dr. Satyapal, Associate Professor of English, Government National College Sirsa. Today we shall study Shakespeare's sonnet number 116, the title of which is Let Me Not Do the Marriage of Two Minds. Before we go deeper into the details about the sonnet, we should know something about William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare was born in 1564 and he wrote as many as 37 plays, a number of poems. Out of the poems which he wrote, some of them are very famous: Venus and Adonis, The Rape of Lucrece, The Phoenix and the Turtle. These three poems are very famous. Apart from these three poems, Shakespeare wrote a number of sonnets, and the sonnet sequence is very famous. It was first published in 1609 by Thomas Thorpe, and out of these 154 sonnets, sonnet number 1 to sonnet number 126, these sonnets have been addressed to a young friend WH, and the remaining sonnets 127 to 154, they are addressed to a dark lady. After writing these poems and plays and sonnets, Shakespeare got retired from his active writing life in 1611. He went back to Stratford-on-Avon, lived a peaceful life, and finally breathed his last on 23rd of April, the day of his birth, same day, and he died in 1616. The poem Let Me Not Do the Marriage of Two Minds is a sonnet, means this is a poem of 14 lines, and this poem is in our syllabus. We shall study this poem from two different angles. One is thematically, other is stylistically. So Shakespeare, the great writer, his poem and especially his sonnets, this sonnet number 116, about his sonnets, the great romantic poet William Wordsworth said that he has unlocked his heart in these sonnets. It means these sonnets are important because otherwise Shakespeare, in his plays, Shakespeare never gave any impression about his beliefs, his feelings, his emotions, or what kind of life he led, or what were his feelings. He never expressed in his plays. If ever he expressed, then these emotions or feelings or beliefs are usually believed to be those of characters. So these sonnets become very important. So the poem Let Me Not Do the Marriage of Two Minds, before reading it in detail, let's read the text of the poem aloud and enjoy it. Let me not do the marriage of two minds, admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. This be error, and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved, he says. So this is the text of the poem, and now we should try to find out the meaning in this poem, line by line. He says, let me not to the marriage of two minds admit impediments. He says, I'm not ready to accept that there can be any obstacle in the way of the true lovers. Admit impediments means accept obstacles. True love never accepts any obstacles in its way. Shakespeare says, I'm not ready to accept that. True love accepts any obstacles, means it overcomes all obstacles. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Shakespeare says that love which changes with change in circumstances, or which bows before the annihilator, that love is not true love. It is not the quality of true love. True love, which changes with change in circumstances or bends under the pressure, that love is not true love. Further, he says, oh no, it is an ever fixed mark. Oh no, this rhetorical assertion, this rhetorical assertion invites my attention to the conversational tone of the poem. Right from the beginning, let me not to the marriage of true minds. That was conversational. Again, oh no, it is an ever fixed mark, as if Shakespeare is talking to someone whom he is guiding, to a younger person, the older person is guiding, and he says, oh no, it is not so. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempest and is never shaken. He says true love is a permanent mark, like the lighthouse you see in this picture on the right hand side top. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempest. Looks on is a phrasal verb which means faces. Shakespeare says that the lighthouse faces many storms and tempests in the sea and is never shaken. But it is never shaken, it never changes its place. And true love is same. True love is like the lighthouse, which may face many difficulties, but will not change. It is the star to every wandering bark. See the definite article before star means the pole star. Otherwise, stars are uncountable. It is the star to every wandering bark. Life is like a small boat, or like life is like a small ship, and the ocean is huge, gigantic. In the ocean of life, this small boat needs guidance. And just like the ship or the boat which gets guidance from the pole star or the lighthouse, so also human life gets guidance from true love. Shakespeare uses two metaphors. One, he compares true love to a lighthouse, which is fixed at its place despite difficulties. It is never shaken, it never changes its place, it is firm and permanent. Secondly, he compares true love to the pole star which guides the ships and the boats which are wandering on the surface of the sea. In both cases, apart from the helping hand, there is a sense of guidance involved. And the poet in the final line of this quatrain, second quatrain of this sonnet, says, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Worth's unknown. The worth of the pole star is unknown. Actually, the worth of the pole star is invaluable. Pole star is invaluable because it saves your life, and nothing is above life. So it has been called worth's unknown. Invaluable, it has been called. Just like that, true love is invaluable. It guides human beings in their lives. In the third quatrain, Shakespeare uses personification as well as metaphor, and he says, love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love's, see the word times, which begins with a capital letter. If you have seen in the second quatrain, even there, Shakespeare used personification when he used the pronoun his. Love's not time's fool. He says, a time cannot make a fool of love. Though rosy lips and cheeks, within his bending sickle's compass come. I have given you an image here, which is in keeping with the image used by Shakespeare. Shakespeare uses a metaphor in which time is like a farmer, and physical beauty and true love, these two things have been called plants of the crop. Now, the farmer time cuts physical beauty, cuts the plants of physical beauty. But if you see in the top corner right hand side, true love remains out of his range. This farmer cannot destroy or cut the plants called true love. The word fool reminds us of Shakespeare's fool, whose words were full of wisdom. Shakespeare used this fool in his plays, and time is like time and fool. This combination is wonderful because Shakespeare used fool in his plays, who was a very wise person. Similarly, time is also very wise. We may let it go go in vain. We may waste it, but actually, time is a great teacher. It is a great killer. It is very powerful, and that's why he has called time's fool. But love cannot be destroyed by time. Time destroyed physical beauty. Time destroyed rosy lips and cheeks. But true love, it remains out of the range of the sickle of the farmer called time. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks. Love does not change every week or every hour or every month. It is eternal. It is everlasting. It is permanent. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. Love remains the same throughout. In Christianity, it is believed that till the day of judgment is the final day of one's life. True love remains same till the final day of one's life. Even in Christianity, it is believed that one day this earth will vanish. And Shakespeare says the doomsday means the day of judgment, that day when the life will vanish. Even to that day, true love will remain the same. It will not change. Means Shakespeare highlights the steadfastness of true love. In the final couplet, he says, "If this be error, and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved." Here he throws a challenge. Whatever I have said in the above 12 lines, in 3 quatrains, 3 stanzas of 4 lines each. A stanza of 4 lines is called a quatrain. In these 3 quatrains, whatever I have said about true love, if that is proved wrong, or even in my own case, says Shakespeare, that even in my own case, if you prove that I was wrong in my love, I will admit, I will accept that I never wrote a poem or a play, and no man ever loved anybody truly. This is the challenge he throws in the final couplet of the poem. So these are 14 lines. This is a sonnet, and I have divided this lecture in 2 parts. The first part is devoted to thematic aspects of the poem, and a second part to the stylistic aspect of the poem. Thematically, if you look at the poem, the text is in front of you. So the first 4 lines, in these lines, Shakespeare tries to define true love as one which is forceful and which never accepts any obstacles in its way, which never gets changed. In the next line number 5 to line number 8, second quatrain, here he compares true love to a lighthouse and the pole star, and asserts that true love is permanent. Whatever may come, true love will not change. And in the third quatrain, "Love's not time's fool," he says that it is so eternal, it is so permanent, it is so everlasting that even time, which is a great killer, even time cannot destroy this true love. And finally, he asserts that whatever I have said is right and nobody can prove it wrong. So in the next lecture, we shall discuss the stylistic aspects of this poem, how this poem is a sonnet, how a Shakespearean sonnet is different from a Petrarchan sonnet, what is the rhyme scheme of the poem, what is the meter, what meter has been used in this poem, what are the figures of speech used in this poem, and what musical sounds have been repeated in this poem to make it musical. Bye till then.